Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone, and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class, where you will have the opportunity to do some speaking practice in preparation for your IELTS exam. So I'm looking forward to doing some practice with our students today, those who have joined us via the Swoosh Connetics group and who wish to make strides in order to get closer to their goal of achieving the highest score possible in the IELTS exam. So if you are watching this class live on YouTube or Facebook or within StreamYard, then let me know in the chat box. Let me know your name and where you're from. And if you know the answers to the questions today that I'll be asking, I'll be doing a few questions to begin with relating to the speaking, then please let me know in the chat box as well. So today we will be looking at parts 2 and 3 of the test, and that's where we'll be doing our practice. And I can see that Chazi has joined us in the class. Hello to you, Chazi. It's very nice to see you in the class too. Joam as well is with us. Hello, Joam. And a very warm welcome to both of you. So, as I was saying, we are going to be looking at the IELTS test, the speaking test, parts 1 and 2. So let's begin with that. Just before I do want to make you aware of an opportunity here with us at Swoosh and Connetics. And this is something that we like to raise attention about because it is a fantastic opportunity for those who are watching the class today. If you would like to work as a nurse in the USA, then you should check out the Swoosh English Connetics USA IELTS Scholarship, where you could go and work in the United States for free. And if this is something which you would like to do, and I'm sure it is, because this is a great opportunity, then apply today by clicking the link on the Connetics page, which I will share in the chat box. And you should just click on the option where it says nurse, staff nurse. So if you click on that option, then you will be able to participate in this scholarship program or have an opportunity to participate in this program. So just click on the link if that is something that you would be interested in doing. Okay, so I can see that Nadim has joined the class, as has Gabasa. Welcome to both of you. Alice has joined. Hello, Alice. Welcome to you too. So let's have a look then at the IELTS materials that we're going to be practicing with today. So, as I said, we're going to be looking at parts 2 and 3. So to start with part 2, and here we have a description of part 2, and we can see the key elements of the task. So we should expect it to last between 3 to 4 minutes. You will be presented with a question. You will have 1 minute to prepare your response to that question. Excuse me. Sorry. And then, of course, as always, you should prepare to speak for up to 2 minutes. Always aim to speak for the full 2 minutes. If you stop before the 2 minutes, then the examiner will have a follow-up question for you, and it could affect your score in the test. So always aim to hit those 2 minutes. What I want to have a look at today is one of the tools we can use to help us with IELTS Speaking Part 2, and this relates to making notes. So in the test, as previously described, you'll have 1 minute to prepare, and during that minute, you'll have the opportunity to make some notes. So have a look at these 5 points, and I want you to tell me which of the following pieces of advice do you think is appropriate? So there are 5 statements here. Which do you think is appropriate for IELTS Part 2 when you are preparing to speak? So we can see the first point here is don't write anything down, just have some ideas in your head. Point 2, you should make sure you write full sentences. Try to write a script for what you say. Part 3, you should write down keywords and phrases that will make sure you do not run out of ideas. Point 4, do not write anything down which doesn't connect directly to the question card. And point 5, write down information that will help you expand on the question card so you can speak for more time. So 5 statements, which do you think are sensible for preparation for the IELTS speaking? Okay, so looking at the comments here, I can see Anna Karenina thinks 3 and 5, as does Claire, as does Alice. So there's a lot of agreement with that. Any other comments? Let me know if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Which do you think is the best advice for IELTS speaking part 2? Good evening to you, Elena. And I can see that Jinky has joined the class. Hello to you, and a very warm welcome to you. Nyradzo has joined us as well. A warm welcome to you too. So 3 and 5 then were suggested as the best pieces of advice. Let's confirm. Indeed. Yeah, so the key, excuse me again, sorry. So the key for IELTS speaking part 2 is that we should just be writing down keywords. If we don't write anything down, then it's going to be difficult for us to continue speaking. We sometimes hit a block, our mind goes blank, and if we don't have any words on the page to help us, then that can mean that we struggle to speak for 2 minutes. If you try to write down too much and script what you're going to say, first of all, you won't have time to do that. And second of all, what you say won't sound natural because you'll be reading a script rather than engaging in more spontaneous conversation. Part 3, keywords will help you to continue talking, but also you'll be able to expand those keywords into sentences. So what you say will sound more natural. Point 4, well, you don't have to speak about things that always directly connect to the question card. It's a good idea to write down a few extra points just to help you continue talking if you run out of things to say. So let's have a look at an example then. So here is an example of a question card. We can see it here. Describe a home that you visited but did not want to live in. I just want you to think about some points you could write down in relation to this question. So you can see that you've got the 4 points that are written on the card, where it is, what it's like, why you visited it, and explain why you would not like to live there. So you can make notes on these, but also to give you a little bit of extra support, you could make some notes on extra details that you could add to the question to allow you to continue talking. So just take a moment to reflect on some ideas that you could add to this. Okay, so here is an example of some points that you could add. This is how I would approach this task. So saying where it is, you can see I've added some key phrases here. So in the countryside, I've just written in countryside because my notes don't have to be grammatical. They're just to help me, to give me ideas. China, Hubei province. What is it like? I put here some key adjectives. So remote, basic, some descriptions, not decorated, wooden, uninsulated. So I can build on all these points, build them up into full sentences in order to give me enough material to keep talking about. Why did I visit it? Work trip, bonding exercise, climbed mountain, opportunity to see more of the country. So I can really build this up, can't I? It's a work trip, so I can say where I worked. It's a bonding exercise, so I can talk about some of the people who came with me. We climbed a mountain. I could add some details about that. Was it it was quite a high mountain. It was quite a steep climb. So I can add in those extra details to keep me talking. Explain why I would not like to live there. Okay, too isolated, lack of convenience. So those are some key points there. So with all of these points, I can write these down in a minute. That's not a problem. I've only written down probably about 25 words, easily done within a minute. But the point is that all of these key points that I've written down, I can expand to help me keep talking for the 2 minutes. I've also just written 3 points at the bottom, and this is just if I'm in a situation where I need to speak for more time, then I can talk about these points. So I can talk about the fact that I played mahjong. That's what I did whilst I was on the trip. I can talk about the fact there were no toilets out in the countryside where we were, which was an inconvenience. And I can also talk about the fact that I felt a bit sick on the trip. So those are some extra details that I can add if I need to keep me talking for the full 2 minutes. So this is what I recommend that you do when you are preparing for part 2. Write down key phrases which you can expand upon in the speaking to ensure that you're able to keep talking for the 2 minutes, and also to ensure that you are able to provide relevant ideas in relation to the question. Okay, so we're going to do some speaking practice. And if you are live in the StreamYard class, then I can bring you in. So let me bring in Peter. You can see who is live in the class. Hi there, Peter.
Hi, hello. How
How
are
are
you?
you?
Yeah, I'm good. So,
Good.
yeah.
What are you up to right now?
Well, I'm preparing a dish for my son to eat for our dinner.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, yeah. At the same time, attending the speaking class. Yeah.
And which country are you in at the moment?
I'm here in United Arab Emirates in the
Okay.
Emirate of Abu Dhabi.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do some part 2 speaking practice, Peter. So, do you often make notes when you're doing your part 2 speaking practice?
Yeah. I usually put in some keywords as well as some backup topics. Yes, just to like what you said, to keep me going or to be
Perfect.
fluent. Yeah.
Good. Do you usually find it helps you to speak for the 2 minutes?
Yes. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really important to have some keywords, some backup things, so that you would be fluent eventually during the 2 minutes uh
absolutely.
period given to the part two.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good. Good. Absolutely. Okay, then, Peter. So let's have a look at this question then. It's the one which we just looked at as a practice. So you've got a minute now to make some notes on this topic, and then I would like you to talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, Peter. So if you would describe a home that you visited but did not want to live in.
Okay. So if I'm going to describe a home that I visited and I didn't want to live in, it would be my friend's house. So there was a time that I visited his house, and it is 15 minutes away from the flat where I'm currently staying. And I did went there because he invited me to view a presentation that is with regard to his business. So, being a supportive friend, I went there and I agreed to his invitation. And upon entering the house of my friend, I saw the molds and some and a very greasy flooring. And during that time, I felt off, but I didn't mention this thing to my friend so as not to offend him. So as I go inside, I saw a very crowded living area, and when I asked him to lead me to his kitchen, I also saw a very crowded kitchen, and there's a greasy floor, I would say. So with that, I really told myself that I wouldn't be able to live in that particular place. Like I would say, in a place like that. So in the opposite side of having a house that I wouldn't want to live in, I would like a house that is very basic, with some important appliances that my family and I could use in everyday living. So I would like it to be clean and neat, and wouldn't have to be uh, maintained that much difficult. So on the other hand of that,
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Peter.
yeah,
Okay, so you had enough content there to keep you going. That was good to hear. I also uh, was aware of the fact that you did expand on the idea as well. You were sort of contrasting a place you would like to live with
yeah,
the house you didn't want to live in. So that's a good example of expanding on the topic in order to give you enough content to keep speaking. So so well done with that one, Peter. Um,
yeah, thank you.
no worries. So yeah, so lots of good stuff in there. Yeah, the fact that you kept speaking and you were able to use linkers as well quite nicely. Some examples of this, you said upon entering, which was quite nice, and you didn't say anything about not liking the place so as not to offend him. Yeah, it was nice the way that you were linking your phrases together. Um, Also, there's some good use of hypotheticals as well with would. So you said, you know, I wouldn't be able to live there, um, which was quite nice. And yeah, it's a house I wouldn't want to live in. So yeah, you're using some good hypothetical language there as well. Um, some nice use of adjectives. So you described yourself as a supportive friend. You described the living area as crowded. So these were good, appropriate adjectives to use to expand on your vocabulary. So yeah, some really good stuff. Just a few slips, not many, but you did say I did went there.
Uh,
Um,
I did go.
so yeah, exactly. So yeah, usually you just say I went there, so you wouldn't have to say did went would be the
Okay,
usual way to
okay,
say it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
exactly. As I said, there weren't too many. And just one where you said greasy flooring. So I wasn't sure about that. I mean, it could be greasy if it's like got oil on it, but
Yeah,
if
yeah, something like that.
okay, is that what it was? Yeah, because
How
that's
could
what I
I
was.
like explain, like describe it properly in a proper way?
Because yeah, I don't. But I was thinking maybe dirty, like it was very dirty,
Dirty.
would have been
Okay,
more appropriate. Yeah,
dirty
it's
floor. Okay,
yeah, that's more general. If you say dirty. Um,
okay,
Yeah, a final point that I make as well is just you do speak quite quickly in part
okay.
two, and I think that can make it difficult because if you're speaking really quickly in the exam, then that it makes it more likely that your mind is going to go blank because you're like, oh, I've said everything, and
Mm,
now I'm not sure what to say. And also, it means well if you speak very quickly that you're not able to use intonation as much.
mhm.
So I would just try to slow down a little bit, just a little
Okay,
bit, because that way you can use intonation a bit more, and it's easier as well for the examiner to follow your ideas and to follow your points. And it also means you don't have to say as much because
yeah,
you know you don't run out of content as quickly. So yeah, so I'm not saying obviously like go really slow, but just a little bit. If you record yourself and listen to yourself back, I think you could slow it down just slightly. Just give yourself a few more pauses. And in that way, as I say, you'll be able to demonstrate a bit more in terms of intonation. So when you're saying, it's a place, to be honest, where I wouldn't want to live. I just can't imagine that it would be the sort of place that I could see myself living. Just having little pauses like that just means that you're able to kind of emphasize your points a little bit more.
okay.
So yeah, I think that would be good. But yeah, lots of good stuff there, Peter. So well done.
Thank you, Alex.
No worries. Thank you very much. Okay, so well done to Peter there for getting us started. We're now going to have a look at a new question, um, and we'll do some practice with John. So let me just bring John into the class. Hi there, John. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi. How are you this
Hi.
afternoon? Is it
I'm
afternoon where
good.
you are?
How about?
Yeah, I'm good,
Sorry.
thank you. I'm good. No, I was asking you where you are at the moment. Is it what time is it? Is it afternoon? Is it evening?
It's already late at night.
Oh, it's
It's
night time. Are you in
already.
the?
It's almost 12 midnight here in the Philippines.
You're in the Philippines. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So bedtime almost.
Mm.
Not quite, but almost. Well done for
S-
staying up and staying with us, John, and participating in the class today. Let me just bring up the next question that we'll be practicing. So we're going to be looking now at trips. Um, so are you familiar with part two, John? Are you the sort of person who makes notes when you're preparing for your
yeah.
part two questions? Good. That's good to hear
Yes.
because, yeah, because it's important, isn't it, to make notes?
Okay.
Good. You agree with that then?
Mm-mm. Sure.
Okay, good. Okay then, John. So you have a minute to prepare, and then you should speak about the topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, John. So are you ready to begin?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. So if you'd like to describe a short trip you often take but do not like.
Okay. I'd like to talk about a short trip that I had. Uh, I went to Bolinao way back years ago, I think, and I went there with my family. Actually, that's our celebration. I mean, it was a getaway for all of us, and we had a short stay there. Uh, Actually, we had a 2 days stayed in Bolinao, Pangasinan, and I'd say I really didn't enjoy that trip because uh, I didn't really enjoy the what I stayed there. I wasn't really relaxed at all that time. Actually, we went there to swim because they say that it's a beautiful there. The beaches are beautiful there, but when I went there, I wasn't really impressed at all. It's a white sand beach, but uh, I'm not really a fan of going to beach at all. So at the same time, uh, I wasn't really enjoyed also to to relax, and I stayed just inside the room with all by myself because I was really not I'm not what do you call this? I'm not really. I forgot what I want to say. Sorry. Uh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Okay, don't worry there, John.
Sorry, I
We
forgot.
almost don't worry. We almost got there. We almost got to 2 minutes. I think you were 10 seconds away. So you were close. You were close. So
I got
what do you
mental.
think?
Sorry.
You just had a block.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it can
Actually,
happen. So this is yeah, go on.
uh, sorry. What do you? Sorry, I got the. I think my connection was not stable. Sorry.
Okay,
Do
no
you?
problem. Don't worry.
Do
So
you
you were
want?
saying that
Do you have
you had
a?
a bit of a block.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I I forgot what I don't know. Sorry. I just
that's
need
fine.
maybe I really need to practice. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I mean this is the thing. It's one of those where that's why it's so important to make notes. So we've always got them there that we can refer back to. I thought you did a good job at
Yeah.
beginning to expand on the points, but you just kind of I think got a bit nervous and then sort of lost your flow a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
really
don't
I
worry.
was
You don't have to.
lost.
Yeah, you don't have to be perfect. So, I mean, if you do get lost, that's why if you then got those notes at the bottom of your screen, like, okay, extra details, just go, right, I'm going to go to my extra detail and we'll talk about that instead, because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with the other idea. So, yeah, if you've got just those keywords you can go to, if you do get stuck, then that really helps. But it was good, John. It was really good. You had some
Okay.
really nice use of vocabulary. So you described it as a getaway. But you said you really didn't enjoy the trip, so you were answering the question. You said that the
Mm-hmm.
beaches are beautiful, which was nice. But you used some nice expressions. You said I really wasn't impressed at all. You said I'm not really a fan of going to the beach. So yeah, some really nice expressions you were using there to express the fact that you weren't enjoying it at the
Okay.
time. Yeah, all by myself as
Okay.
well was another nice expression that you used. I think, yeah, the improvements is there were just some moments of hesitation, particularly towards the end. You were hesitating a bit. I think partly that was nervousness, but
Yeah. It
if
was
you
mad.
hesitate, this is it. But
Yeah.
sometimes we get nervous. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's just something to bear in mind. If you can reduce the hesitations, you will get a higher score for fluency. Try to imagine the examiner is like a friend as much as you can. Imagine that in your mind, and it can make you feel a
Okay.
bit calmer. Yeah, um, and
Okay.
also
Okay.
you were sometimes it can be because of the connection, but you were just a little bit quiet sometimes. Um, so just make sure that your voice is loud enough so the examiner can hear you clearly, because you don't want him to miss some of the
Okay.
keywords that you're using, because you're using some really good expressions. So yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
well done, John. Well done.
Okay.
You did well. You did a good job.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. So that was great stuff there from John, and just an example. It can be a bit nerve-wracking with part two, so that's why having those notes is so important. Your mind probably will go blank at some stage, but you just go back to your notes, and that should give you enough information to keep going. Okay, let's move on to another topic, and I'm going to bring Chris into the class for this. Are you there, Chris?
Yes,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good, good. And where are you at the moment?
I'm in London at the moment.
Okay, so are you ready for the clock change
Uh,
on at the weekend?
well, yeah, that's it's better than winter time to change the clock.
Yeah, it means we get more sunlight.
Yes.
These things are important when you live in the UK. Okay, awesome. So we're going to have a look at a new topic now, then, Chris.
Okay.
And the topic is on photos, so photographs. So you've got a minute here, then, Chris, to prepare your response. and then you should talk about this topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, so Chris, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Brilliant. So please describe a photograph of you that you like.
Well, it was one of those photographs that I really like. It's very old photograph. It was a photograph given to me by my mom when I was young. It's a photograph of me being as a baby. So I think about 4 months old at that time when that photograph was with my mom. So that photograph is actually important to me because every time I look at it, it reminds me of me being young. Because I'm already on my 40s, so I think of it as a remembrance of how I grew up as a person, as an into adult, and how I transform myself into somebody who is already at my age. It reminds me quite well of how I actually achieve a lot of things from being a baby up to now that I'm already an adult. It also gives me a reflection on how I did my life in a very good way. It's also one way for me to go back as a form of for me to be able to share it to my family, especially with my growing son. So it's a way for me also to share to him what was my how I look like when I was a baby, and what are those things that resembles him as my son. So overall, this the photograph is something that always reminds me of where I am right now. It is also an important memorabilia, or it's an
Okay.
important.
Thank you, Chris. That's great. So yeah, you got lots of details there on the photograph. Kept speaking at a nice natural pace for the 2 minutes. So well done.
Thank you.
No worries. So yeah, there was some nice use of language in there. I like the fact that you used the passive voice. It was given to me by my mum. That was nice. And there was some nice use of language. You said it every time you look at it, it reminds you of when you were young. You use it as a remembrance. It gives you a reflection. So lots of nice language you was using there, connected with memories, connected with the past, which obviously is very appropriate for this topic. Just one thing in terms of repetition. So you used also
Yeah.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
So what could you use instead of also?
Well, probably like additionally, or on top of that, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Or
that's a good one. On top of that's a good one. Additionally is good, but more for writing. It
yeah.
can sound
Okay.
a bit unnatural with speaking, but yeah, on top of that, or besides that, or aside from that. Yeah, those are some expressions that we would use in English, which mean also, but just to avoid repetition.
Yes.
So yeah, that would have been a good one. And just an expression. You said the photo reminds you how I look like, but it should be what. It reminds me what I looked like.
Yes. Yeah.
Is
That's
what
the
you would
one.
say
Yeah.
there. That's it. And also, you said about your son. You said it says he can look at the photo and it shows him, how that resembles him. But actually, you would say it the
Uh,
other way. You would say it shows how he resembles me.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Because you're the
that's
original.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that, yeah, but it's a really nice use of vocabulary to resemble. But yeah, that was all just, yeah, he resembles me. Yeah, you're the original, so he is the one that resembles you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah. Apart from that, Chris, really good. Lots of information there. Lots of nice vocabulary. So it's a good stuff.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so we're going to do more practice. Before we do, let me just again make you aware of the IELTS Scholarship Program, which you can sign up to today. The link will be shared in the chat box in terms of how you can participate there. It's a great opportunity. If you would love to work as a nurse in the USA, then check out the Swoosh English Connetics USA IELTS Scholarship, in which you could do all of this for free. And you can apply today by clicking the link on the Connetics page. Click on Staff Nurse in order to take advantage of this opportunity. So let's continue then. And we're going to look at one more speaking part 2 topic. And we can see that is clothes and accessories. So let me bring in a student so that we can practice this topic today. Okay, so I'm bringing Claire Lee into the class. Are you there, Claire Lee?
Hi.
Hello, great to see you.
Yeah.
How are you today, Claire Lee?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Better than last week. Not too
Good.
busy. Yeah. Mm.
Things were a little bit more relaxed for you this week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. How are you with part 2, Claire Lee? Do you find that you make a lot of notes before going
Uh,
into practice?
Honestly, it's spontaneous.
Okay.
Somehow with practicing the part two, I find myself spontaneous. Yeah.
You've always got ideas in
Somehow.
your head.
Yeah, because yeah, so somehow, but I don't know with some of the topics, but you know, it depends on the topics.
This
Yeah,
is it. A lot
that
depends on the
could be.
topics. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Because sometimes you got a limited knowledge about one topic. Of course, you don't know everything. So yeah,
That is true. That is true. Well, my advice is clearly that during that 1 minute, just scribble down as many key phrases that come into your head, just
yeah.
in case, to give
Mhm.
you that protection should your mind go blank during the actual talk. But all right, let's have a go at this then, Clelly. So you can see the question card on the screen.
Yeah.
Good. So you have 1 minute to prepare.
Mhm.
Okay, Clelly, are you ready to begin?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So please describe a bag you want to own.
I found a bag. I'm working in a hospital where my residents are rich. Okay, so I saw a bag that one of my resident doctors is using, and it's an LV backpack, Louis Vuitton backpack, and I checked. how much it is. It cost around maybe $8,000. So I want to buy it uh in a Louis Vuitton store in if I get to like go on a trip if pandemic is over, when the pandemic is over. So I want to buy it in Paris most probably. I wish to go there when the yeah, when things are already stable. So um I asked her about what how much does it cost. So she told me it cost around maybe $8,000, in which I'm not so sure also because I didn't check it online yet. So yeah, and I found that bag really nice because the it's not that really big, but it's the size is like a medium sized backpack in which I could store almost all of my stuff, like my stuff for like toiletries, because I always bring with me toiletries, one of each, like a powder, um lotion, a little lotion, and a little soap. So everything in a little package. So I found and also
Okay,
the
clearly, that's great.
okay,
So
I
yeah,
want to speak
I know
more.
what you mean. Yeah, so your problem will never be not being able to speak for the 2 minutes.
I know.
You had a lot
I
to say
want to
on this
speak
topic.
about baby stuff. I want to speak about baby stuff.
So was that because you like the topic, or was it just because every topic you think of ideas?
Yeah, honestly, I like the topic.
Yeah. So you got a nice
I
topic in
like
this
bags.
case.
I like bags.
Clearly, yeah. Well, you're thinking about spending $8,000 on a bag, so you must have a great appreciation for bags. I
Yeah.
think, I think I don't think I spent $8,000 on a car. Never mind about a bag, but um,
Yeah, because it's really a
yeah.
vintage bag when I saw with one of my residents in the
Mm.
hospital, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would be impressed as well. That is a lot of money for a bag. Yeah, no, well done, Clelly. So great fluency. You've got a very natural ability to speak. A lot of this as well does come down to your personality, and I can see clearly that you're just very comfortable expressing and talking. So that comes across in this as well. So that was great. It helps with your intonation. It helps with your fluency. So those are definitely strengths there.
Mm-hmm.
Some really good use of vocabulary as well. So straight away, obviously, you're talking about the Louis Vuitton backpack. Some nice descriptions, medium sized, things you'd use it for, your toiletries, and you obviously gave examples of the toiletries you would use.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I like the fact that you, at one point, you self-corrected. So you said, if the
Yeah.
pandemic is over, and then you went to when. So yeah, I
Yes.
thought that was good.
Uh-huh.
No, actually, it's better to
Yeah.
use when. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
that is a good thing to do. If you notice that actually something doesn't sound quite right, then you correct it
Yeah.
yourself. That yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is a good thing to do in the exam. So well done with that. Um, yeah, just a few points. So you said that you
Mm.
asked her. You said I asked her how much does it cost. This is actually an example of reported speech because you're
Oh,
reporting what you said.
okay.
So when
Uh-uh.
you use reported speech, you actually don't use the same structure you would use for a direct question. So you would say, "I asked her how much it cost." That
Ah, okay.
yeah.
I
So you
asked
wouldn't
how
use
much it cost. Okay.
exactly. Yeah. So you wouldn't
So that's
use
what we
yeah.
use those so that's what I will use if I'm speaking with
If you're
a
reporting
person,
what
a
you said,
direct
yeah. If
okay.
you're reporting what you said, so because you're reporting it this time, you're basically it's like when you said to her, you said, "Oh, how much does it cost?" But then you report it. So you're telling
Mm.
me what you said to her. Yeah, you're reporting
Ah,
to me
okay.
what you
Mm.
said to your patient. So when you're reporting it and
Okay.
you're using expression like I asked her, like yeah, I asked her how much it cost
It
is how
cost.
you'd
Oh.
report it. Yeah. Um, So that's just one of the sort of the grammar areas which will be assessed on, is when you're reporting things. It's quite often you do report things for part 2 because you're essentially telling a story.
Yeah.
So yeah, just something to bear in mind on that one. And just one slip on the past tense as well. You said I didn't checked it online. I had to read my notes
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So you've used a negative, so you would use infinitive. I didn't check it online.
Yeah.
Be the term to use there. So yeah, so those are the things that I noticed. Really, just a couple of grammatical slips.
Okay.
Just one final point. Actually, you said at one point, you said it's not that really big, but use one or the other. So you can say it's not that big,
Okay.
or you can say it's not really big, but you can't use both together because
Oh, okay.
it doesn't quite fit. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Apart from that, clearly, yeah, some really good stuff there. Like I said, the fluency, intonation was really nice. So great
Okay.
stuff.
Mm-mm.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you very
Thank you.
much. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers. Okay. So I want to move on now then to look at part 3, just for the final part of the class, because we can develop on some of the topics that we've looked at already with part 2. So with part 3, in total, it will last between 4 to 5 minutes. The questions you're asked will be linked to the topic in part 2. You'll be asked questions using a question and answer format. So it will be similar to part 1 in that respect. You don't have to keep talking for up to 2 minutes. You would answer the question, and then a next question would be asked. So you speak for less time in response to each question compared to part 2. The questions will be more abstract. You'll need to give opinions and justifications for those opinions. So you should ensure that your answers are well structured and that you use appropriate linkers to connect your ideas. So let's have a look then at some part 3 questions on the topic of trips. I should just remind everyone that, of course, you will not see the questions for part 3. The examiner will ask the questions to you, but I'm displaying some examples of questions here just for demonstration purposes. So in order to do a bit of practice here, I'm just going to bring Netra into the class. Hi there, Netra.
Hi, can you
Hello,
hear me,
how are you
sir?
today? I can.
Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Have you had a nice week so far?
Yes, excellent. It was excellent.
Oh, wonderful. Glad to hear it. Okay, so Netra, we're going to do some part 3 questions together. So are
Okay.
you, are you ready to do some practice?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so first of all, we're looking at the topic of trips. Do people in your country like to travel to other countries?
Yes, of course, because of this globalization and advancement in technology, which is really growing leaps and bounds, especially in transport and communication, and that's the reason people would like to visit, international tourist places, and not only to travel, just to enjoy, but to some of them they just like to go there to for study purpose or for to earn their livelihood. So there are many purposes people like to travel on international.
Okay, and do you think it's a good thing for people to travel abroad?
Yes, of course, it's the excellent thing one can enjoy. Traveling abroad is really the excellent opportunity one can have. And as I mentioned a while ago, that because of this technology in transport and communication, we can travel abroad. It's quite easier nowadays compared to the olden days. Now is resources are available. So and certain organizations or companies are there with excellent plan, so we can enjoy international holidays. So one in a lifetime, I think everyone should enjoy this kind of holidays, and they should go
What?
abroad.
Why do you think some people choose not to travel abroad?
As per my perception, I think they must be having some misunderstanding or misconception in their mind because of insufficient amount of information, or they may find it difficulties with language or culture or traditional this thing differentiation. Because of that, they do not want to travel. And another reason is that. It is really costly. It's not that pocket friendly to have a tourist international vacations or visit. Is quite costly, and that's the reason. These are the two reasons, I think.
Okay, and who do you think prefers traveling abroad, the young or the old?
As per my perception, I think everyone want to go and enjoy international holidays or want to go and work over there. But the majority of youngsters, they want to explore the globe in their lifetime, so they prefer to visit this thing international tourist places and yeah, some other countries they want to go and study or to have to work over there. But for old people, I think they may opt for just for vacation purpose. They may go and just enjoy the vacation like that.
Okay, thank you very much, Netra. So yeah, some really nice use of vocabulary there. You said that it's coming on. I like the expression you used at one stage, that it's coming on leaps and bounds. It's a very nice expression to use, a very conversational expression as well, so appropriate to the context. Some nice use of structure as well. At one point you said, not only to, but, so you're using that structure in what you were saying. Some comparisons, you talked about nowadays compared to olden days was the expression that you used. And also I quite liked another expression you talked about, the majority of youngsters. So you were using youngsters as a paraphrase for young people. So there were some good examples of you paraphrasing vocabulary there to show a wider range. So well done for that. Just in terms of some expressions that weren't quite not common anyway, at least. So let's have a look. So one, you said to travel international. So I think to travel abroad. So you couldn't really paraphrase abroad with international in this context. So you can say to travel to other countries abroad, but yeah, not to travel international. That's not quite a natural expression.
Right.
At one point you use the expression pocket friendly. I've not heard that expression before. It makes sense, but I've not heard it before. Could you? Is that
quite
a
common? We use this expression when the things are costly, so those are not pocket friendly. Means that's a common expression over here in my country, at least.
That's what it is then. That's what it is.
It's not pocket. Okay. Very commonly we use that. Yeah, we use that when it is costly, so it's not pocket friendly. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's interesting.
Cost a fortune to them. Yeah, I can use it may cost a fortune to them, and that's maybe the reason. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. So you said it was quite costly. You said it can cost a fortune. So those absolutely you can use. An expression we use here, very British, is it can cost an arm and a leg. Is an expression that we use here in the UK.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah, I know that expression.
So we can use that one, but so it makes a lot of sense, pocket friendly. But I just hadn't heard the expression before. That's all. So I think all I would say about that is that if your examiner is British, just be aware that he or she may not know the expression. So just be aware of that. And finally, I think just with grammar, the only thing that I noticed here was you said everyone want to go, but if you use everyone, you have to use a singular verb. So everyone wants to go.
Okay, wants. Yeah, S should be there. Yeah.
Exactly. Singular. Exactly. And just a final thing you said, older people, they opt for vacation purpose. So vacation purpose wasn't quite a natural expression. So you might say they opt to go on vacation, or they opt for the purpose of going on vacation. So just that expression wasn't quite natural. I thought your pronunciation was better, Netra. You were clearer this time.
Okay.
So
Thank
that's
you.
definitely
Thank
an
you.
improvement.
Yeah,
So
I have
no, well
started
done.
I have started recording myself. Last time you told me to do that, so I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I'm listening back to me, and it's really helpful.
Oh, good, perfect. Yeah, I always
Yeah,
think that's a really useful thing to do. So I'm glad it's working for you.
yeah,
Good
yeah, yeah.
stuff. Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
Anetra.
you, thank you,
Good,
thank you very much.
well done. Okay, so we've got time just to do practice with one more student in the class. So I'm just going to bring Alice into the class. Hi there, Alice. Are you there?
Hi, Alex. Sorry, I was mute.
That's fine. That's fine. How are you today?
Not bad. Just a
Good.
bit of anxiety.
A bit of anxiety.
We've had some changes in my country due to the rise in cases of COVID.
Oh dear.
We have cessation of 5 counties from tonight.
So what does that mean?
It means you can't move out of some counties. You can't get in
Oh,
from midnight tonight.
so you've got a lockdown situation.
Kind of, yes. A mini
Okay.
kind of lockdown.
Not good. I know what that's like because in the UK we've had a lockdown for the last 3 months. So I know that it's not a nice experience. But hopefully it works.
The cases
Yeah.
are going up. I've
Yeah.
actually been dealing with some cases even as I was listening here. Patients I
wow.
monitor. But we hope all will be well soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all we can do is hope, and hope that the vaccination program is able to take effect as quickly
Yeah.
as possible.
Sure.
Okay, so Alice, we're going to do some part 3 practice. Let's have a look at a different topic.
Okay.
We're going to look at the topic of photos. So, Alice, first question I have for you: what do people use to take photos with these days?
Well, sorry. Well, nowadays, because people, almost everyone has a smartphone, people use them to take photos. I know a few people use cameras, but they are not very common nowadays because people can use their mobile phones, use the phones to send the photos to their friends, update their status every now and then. So I would say the phone has become quite common gadget for taking photos.
Do you think photographers are artists?
Not necessarily. I think so long as you can learn how to take good photos and you have a good camera, anybody can take photos, especially if you want to do business. You just need to learn the basic skills, like, for example, focusing on the object. And if you're able to do that, then I think anybody can become a photographer.
And why is photography important in today's society?
I think, like I have said, with the current use of phones that have cameras, very nice cameras, most people have become quite enthusiastic when it comes to posting photos on social media, updating their status, especially on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. And I also realized that most people would want to get to communicate to friends who are living far away, especially in international countries. People will send them photos, especially for people who are in dating or people who are in relationships. And this has helped people to stay closer because when they are able to see their friends through the photos, it makes them feel like they are actually dealing with these people or actually seeing these people face to face.
What do you think might be some of the disadvantages of photography becoming so important in modern society?
I think one of the things that I would say is not very good, you realize that most people will take photos and post on social media. For example, if they're traveling, they are going out of the country. And in that sense, it exposes them because thieves can be able to know these people are not within their compound. So they can become targets, especially from the people who are very good at, breaking into people's homes. I have seen people who have been kidnapped by using the photos they have posted on the social media. It is also easy for criminals to target their targets, or rather the people they would want to attack. using their photos from the social media. So it has some very bad negative effects.
Okay, thank you very much, Alice. So yeah, some great use of language as always. When you're giving responses, you were hedging your responses a little bit. You said, when I said, do you think photographers are artists? You said not necessarily. Some other good expressions, you were relating back to what you said, so organizing your speech. So like I've said, you used to refer back to a point that you previously made. Some other expressions that you're using, every now and again is a nice expression to use as a way to refer to frequency. Update their status as well was a nice expression. Lots of references to social media, which of course is very relevant to photography these days. So yeah, lots of good content, well organized. You speak at a natural pace and use a variety of vocabulary. Just a point. So photograph is an interesting one because when you actually change the form of the verb, the word, it actually changes the pronunciation of the word. So you say photography, photograph, and photographer. So the stress is on the second syllable. So I just noticed when you were saying photographer, I think you put the stress on the first syllable. But yeah, just something to be aware of, that it's a second syllable stress for photographer. Yeah, and also just with thief. So with the plural form for thief, we use thieves. That's the standard plural, at least. Anyway, so just I guess that with pronunciation there, just with the thieves, would have been a more accurate plural form in that case. Yeah, I think aside from that, those are the only points that I would make, just in terms of a little bit of accuracy. But yeah, really good, Alice. So thank you very much for your participation once again. Thank you. Take care.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you everyone who has participated today, both in the class and in Facebook and YouTube as well. If you want to participate in the class, I've seen comments made by those watching in Facebook and YouTube who want to participate, then please do join the scholarship program. That is how you can participate in the class. And if you click on the link which we've shared in the class today, then you will be able to follow the link, click on Staff Nurse, and you'll be able to participate in future classes as well. So just on that topic, the IELTS Scholarship Program, which we are offering, is an opportunity for those who would love to take the opportunity to work as a nurse in the United States. So do make sure that you check it out, and make sure that you click on the Connetics page and the link Staff Nurse. So thank you once again for all those who have participated today. Until next week, where we will do more practice, take care.